Raikan Topani is for Thai drama lovers only. Sawadee-kha, hello everyone and welcome to Axelle's Guide to Thai Dramas. I am Axelle and the Thai drama we're talking about today is Mad Unicorn. So let's get into it because I do have quite a few things to talk about this show. So, my first impression. This show, I didn't really follow closely. Obviously, it doesn't really have anyone that I'm like a super fan of. The only one that I really knew in the cast a lot and really loved is, of course, Jane Ramida, who just left GMMTV a few months ago. She's been at GMMTV, or she was at GMMTV for a very long time. So obviously, I've seen her in countless shows. And yeah. That's basically the only one and my only kind of link to this show, if you will. And my kind of only link to this show, if you will. And I didn't hear about the trailer. I actually never watched the trailer. I think maybe I saw something about it like months ago. But it kind of came in from one ear and left from the other. And the only moment that I started kind of being intrigued by this show and wanted to watch it is seeing Jane reposting a lot of fan content and like things about her character on her stories on Instagram, where I saw that it seemed to have had a really great response. And actually, after I watched the show, I saw that she posted it was in the top 10 of best Netflix shows worldwide. So, worldwide. Girl, English is hard. Anyways, so it's something that definitely factored in, and especially for me when I see a Thai drama overperforming, a non-BL Thai drama. And when I see a BL Thai drama overperforming and like being a little bit viral, I'm like, oh, okay, it must be very sexual and that's why everyone is watching it. But when I see a non-BL or non-GL Thai drama getting a lot of hype like this, a lot of views, I'm actually very, very excited. So I definitely always, it kind of bumps it up on my to-watch list. And I immediately downloaded the 7 episodes of the show. I also love miniseries, so the fact that it was only 7 episodes was a huge factor for me. And because my mom was visiting me in Thailand, and from the synopsis that I saw on my drama list, it looked like a very like easy show to watch even with my mom. I offered to watch it with her, and spoiler alert, both me and my mom got totally hooked on this show. We got obsessed with it. We absolutely loved it. And my mom even recommended it to my dad. So hopefully my dad watches it because it's a really great show. Spoiler alert, I love this show. So now for the synopsis. So the whole show follows Santi, who is working in a salt mine. We learn later that it's his dad who kind of forced him to work in this salt mine. And gets the opportunity to get a loan of money from his boss at the mine, and immediately goes to Bangkok and tries to build his wealth. That's the basic synopsis. If you want to go a little bit above that, basically Santi, after being a guide for a lot of Chinese people because he can speak Chinese, I believe he is either fully Chinese or at least half Chinese from his mom. He can speak Chinese, so he does a lot of tour guides with Chinese groups, and he meets a Thai businessman who decides after a lot of shenanigans to invest in his idea. And spoiler alert, the man does betray him. And it gives the whole meaning because the very first sentence of the show is Santi speaking in voiceover and saying, "Do you wonder why I went into the delivery business? It's for revenge." And so in the first 2 episodes, we're like, why revenge? Everything seems to be going pretty good for you. But then we understand that he wants revenge on that businessman who betrayed him. So that's the basic synopsis. It's obviously a show that immediately when I read the summary on my drama list, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Because I think these kinds of shows where poor people are trying to succeed, and are fighting against a way bigger fish in the pond than them. It's always very conclusive to a good story, a story that's gonna pull at your heartstrings, that's gonna get something out of you, right? So I feel like this type of story is very, very easy to love, and spoiler alert, I loved it, and my mom did too. Now for the characters. So obviously the main character is Santi, and Santi is very lovable, but like an unhealthy level. He is someone who's maybe a little bit like fearless, and even a little bit like sometimes will do things without really thinking about the consequences, definitely. And he's definitely a very go-getter personality. And he is also just a very lovable person. He's very friendly, very good at like anything. In French, we call it l'esprit commercial. It's literally like the commerce brain, meaning that you're good at selling things to people because you're very approachable, very friendly, very just good at it naturally. And Santi definitely has this vibe. And we'll talk about why I absolutely love Santi. And I genuinely think that the performance of Santi by Ice Ice Natara is literally some of the best performance I've seen in a while, and deserves an award. If I'm thinking about like the performances that have marked my brain the most in the past year, I would say Bilkin in the Red Envelope, the movie with him and PP, definitely deserves an award. And this performance by Ice Natara, like, so good. Okay, very, very good. Because we'll talk about it anyway. So Santi is definitely extremely lovable. He has some flaws, but he's very perfect in many ways. He's someone that obviously you're gonna like root for him very, very easily. So in this case, he kind of is the perfect main character because he's just so good, so lovable. Then we have Jiayu. So this movie is this series, is also half in Chinese because a lot of the investors are Chinese, etc. So I'm sorry if I'm gonna butcher the Chinese names. I do not speak Mandarin, so sorry for that. But she is played by Jane Metica. I think she might have changed her name. I'm very sorry. I still call her Jane Ramida because that's how I know her. So Jane Metica / Ramida previously. So Xiao Yu is at first kind of a shitty character. My mom really didn't like her because she's very cold. She's very, at first, you have a moment where Santi is literally bowing in front of her, like, because she comes from the company that's gonna merge with the rich man's company that has given Santi his chains. And, she's kind of the only one kind of putting a stop to this merger. And, so Santi is begging her on his knees, and she just looks at him and then leaves, but ultimately she does give him a chance, and she actually becomes perhaps the most lovable character and the one that really keeps her head on her shoulders the whole show. So she's actually a really, really great character. I absolutely really enjoyed her. Although I think she had a sad ending in my opinion, but that's my opinion. But maybe I'm a little bit too woke peeled, let's say. We'll talk about it. Actually, let's talk about it now because I don't know if it's gonna come up, but basically in the end, so Xiao Yu, at the beginning, she's working for that Chinese company, who comes to Thailand and blah, blah, and she's supposed to quit that company and go get married with her boyfriend back in, China. But she, ends up giving a chance to work with Santi's new company, Thunder Express. And she ends up staying like years with them, and in the end she kind of sacrifices herself for the company. That's how much she believes in the company. And in the end she does still, so basically there's a romance brewing between Santi and her. And to be honest, I kind of liked where they went with the romance. We'll talk about it. But in the end, she does go back and get married with her boyfriend, even though she had feelings for this whole other dude. She did admit to it to her boyfriend, so she's not like a cheater. She is like doing this like openly and like was really open about her feelings, but still. And I felt like that was a sad ending, but maybe because I'm too woke pilled and I'm very against like being married, having kids, so maybe that's also me like reading too much into it. But in the end, Santi goes back to meet Zhao Yu like in China, and you can see her baby is born, so she has a kid, and you're kind of like, oh, so her life, she just became a housewife, even though she was a really, really good CFO for this company. So she kind of gave up her entire career for her family, which is like very conservative mindset, traditional mindset, sadly becoming more popular again, even though so many women fought for us women to be able to work. I'm not saying work should be the only thing we aspire to in this fucking capitalist hellhole we live in. But I'm just like, low-key, you're spitting on your ancestors. But that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. You can choose the path you want, but I feel like if you're choosing to put all of your financial wealth and well-being into a man's hand, that seems like a bad. But again, I think I'm very like pessimistic on this issue. So I think, yeah, definitely don't. Okay, let's scrap this. So then we have who is the co-founder of Santi's company, Thunder Express. So after he gets betrayed by the dude, the rich businessman, he tries desperately to get his own company. Again, he's pushed by revenge against this guy. And Richie is a very interesting character because he's definitely very hot-headed. He's always screaming. He's kind of almost like abusing his workers. He's shouting at them. He's like, we gotta do this. Like, they say like, we could do this in 1 week instead of 2, but it will be hard. And he said, no, you need to do it in 3 days. So he's very like abusive, very stressful. But in the end, he ends up being one of the most loyals and most like, he really sticks through the company and supports his like employees. And in the end, he is like a good guy. And I kind of like this type of character. I think it's quite interesting. It kind of I'm sure there's been many other characters like him before, like angry and grumpy, but actually they really care and they're good people. But here I really liked the balance between these three characters. So we have Santi, Xayu, and Roger, where they're all three very drastically different in personalities, and I really enjoy that. So then we have Kanin. So Kanin is the name of the businessman played by Ek Kanev. Kanin is a very good character. I think he was really good because from the get-go, personally, again, I'm kind of, as you can see, I'm very woke-pilled, so I don't trust the rich. Okay? So as soon as he showed up, I was like, he's too friendly, he's too willing to give this poor guy. And the thing with Santi that's also extremely lovable from the get-go is that although he wants, like, his goal is to become a rich businessman and own his own company, what I really enjoyed is that he is very honest about who he is. He just always says like, I'm poor, I come from the mountain, I used to eat rats to survive, and he's not ashamed of where he comes from, and which is really beautiful. He just wants a better life for himself, although that is obviously in a capitalistic, we'll talk about it, girl, we'll talk about it. And Kanin, when I saw him, I was like, why would he want to give money and resources to this dude who, yes, is very charismatic, very fun to be around, very lovable, that we all agree on, but he's still poor. I was like, why isn't he just searching to exploit him? And spoiler alert, he was searching to exploit him. And so he betrays him. He gives his company as a CEO to his son, Ken, played by Peach Pachara, who I quite like. He's a good actor, and he's especially good at playing villains and antagonistic characters like this. And so they are the son and dad duo of the team, but definitely Kanin is more of the villain. You can say that Ken, even though he's an asshole, is more being like used by his dad, and he's kind of fucking lost and doesn't have any of his own identity. And in the end, the last scene they are both in, Ken says, being your son is such a burden on me, basically, and he quits the company. Then we have other characters. We have Liam, played by B. Tasapak, who plays Xiaoyu fiance who stays in China. Very good looking. Don't want to be shallow on that, but girl. Then we have Linux, played by Q Anongnat. Yeah, Q Anongnat, who was in Ready Set Love, one of the most underrated Thai dramas. I fucking love Ready Set Loves. And then we had a very good surprise. We had Suam Sukapat playing Nippon, who is basically, spoiler alert, Linux and Nippon will betray Santi and are informants for Kanin's son. And Suam Sukapat was in Cooking Crush. He's the villain, the mean one, the mean chef in Cooking Crush. And if you don't know Cooking Crush is my favorite comfort show of all time. I absolutely love it. Honestly, it's such an underrated show. I love Cooking Crush so much. It's such a breath of joy. When you want to be happy, you need to watch Cooking Crush. It's so good! I know people say it's boring, but I don't agree. So these are the basic characters. Now the cast and acting. So good. So good. Everyone in this, 8. 8 down. As I said though, the true star of this is Ice Natara, okay? That man, I know I've been meaning to watch his movie with Thor Tanapop called One for the Road, okay, where he plays a cancer patient who's probably dying. I've always been bracing myself. I know it's a good movie. People loved it. I've been bracing myself to watch it for like literally years. I think it came out at this point, maybe 4 or 3 years ago. I still haven't watched it because I know I'm gonna cry like a fucking bitch. Okay. So I know he's in that movie. Apart from that, I didn't know him at all. And he is really good. I love this man. I think he got himself a new stand because he ate that up so bad. I was stunned. Because I really love, first of all, I really love when an actor has a face. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like fully conventionally attractive actors. I feel like I like when there's something a little bit different about them. And even Jane Metika, who is extremely conventionally attractive, I feel like her face, the way it's laid out, is still quite original. And so she still stands out as well. But Ice Natara, like, he's beautiful, but he's not very conventionally attractive. But he is so good in it. Oh my god. I might become a stan. Just one more can he do a queer movie? If he does a queer movie, that's it. I'm a stan for life, baby. He was so good. And I know for a fact he's gonna get awards when the award season, I don't even know when the award season is in Thailand. When the award season comes out, he better get fucking awards for his role in this, because he ate down, I don't think any other performance touches his, to be honest. It's just such a lovable performance. It's just so good. The charisma through the roof. Now Jane Metika, so good. Having to act both in Chinese and Thai. Now, we have always known that Jane is like fluent in Mandarin because her, I believe one of her parents is Taiwanese. So she's fluent in the language, but still, like, I think it's pretty hard to act in 2 languages like this. And even Ice Natara, I'm thinking, again, I don't speak Chinese, so I don't know if their Chinese is that good. Maybe it's not that good. I'm not sure. But in any case, it sounded legit to me. Again, who doesn't know Mandarin? So both of them, like, they really ate with that one. Even Rujie, I think Rujie was a really, like, fun character. I think the performance was good. Kanin, super good performance. He's very good at playing, like, the kind of grandpa figure, like, very friendly at the beginning and then become, like, extremely vicious. Even though Kanin should understand Santi the most, because Kanin used to be poor and built his wealth out of nothing. And that's also one of the reasons why Santi is particularly, like, attracted to being friends and partners, like business partners with this man. But yet he wants to kill the competition. And that's how you see how much money corrupts the soul. And, again, fuck capitalism. That's all I gotta say. I think Peach Pachara was pretty good in this. Everyone was really good. Linux, that girl, Q Anongnat, She ate in Ready, Set, Love, and she ate in that one. She was very, very good. Very good acting in that one scene. No spoiler. Spoiler. When she gets found out that she's the mole. Very, very good. So overall, cast and acting, 10 out of 10. Not a bad performance inside. They ate so bad. They ate so bad! Again, I love that show. Now the writing. Now, the thing with this is that, again, we have a success story already. You know what I mean? Like, you have a story of a small, poor person fighting against a big, rich person, and succeeding. Spoiler, he succeeds in the end. Against all odds. And it's just such a relatable story. Now more than ever, I feel like in the past year, since like Luigi Mangione and like what's happening in America and honestly all over Europe as well, we are kind of waking up as to how much of like, how powerless we are, how much of a cog in the fucking machine we are. And it can be extremely hurtful, extremely stressful. Honestly, if I think about it too much, I will spiral and need to be interned into like a fucking mental hospital because I am unwell, okay? By how cruel and horrible and shitty the world is. Like, we live in such a beautiful planet. We have such beauty all around us, and we choose to care about money. We have such lovely people around us, and we choose to care about money. Because we have to. Because no money, you fucking die. So, yeah. Anyways. And you know, I watched this show with my mom, and my mom was like, oh, like, it's not very political. And I interrupted her, and I was like, this show for me is extremely political. It's, maybe not as political as Not Me, which was the most political Thai drama of all time. But, like, you have class consciousness in this. You have class wars in this. You have a poor person trying to succeed and being smashed again and again and again by the rich. Like, what is this? And the thing is that, spoiler, like, in the end, because Sandy succeeds, he succeeds for himself. Yes, he succeeds also for his family, but at the end of the day, he's still a fucking cog in the machine. He's just now on top. So even though the ending is very satisfying because we saw him struggle for 7 episodes to build his company, and he succeeds, and again, Santi is a very lovable character. Does it solve the real issue at hand, which is capitalism? No, it doesn't. And at the end of the day, this is based on a true story. He wasn't gonna go all fucking Not Me gang on Canine in the show. Of course, his goal was to build his company. He succeeded, but it is funny because I watched that ending and I'm like, oh, so you got what you wanted, but the world is still suffering. We're still doomed, so that's fun. That's fun. We're all gonna die poor and unhappy, so that's fun. If the fucking climate change doesn't take us first. Oh my god, we're doomed. Sorry to like bring politics so much into... I'm not sorry. Actually, I am not sorry. You should care about politics. Even when it's depressing, even though you are not... I don't think you are the president of your country. Or you're the CEO of a big company. If you're the CEO of a big company, please stop polluting, bitch. Thank you. There's not much you can do, but you should still be aware of what's going on because things are dreadful. Things are not good. Hello. That's why I watch Thai dramas, girl. I'm trying to distract myself. But apart from that, the writing is really, really good. To get back to the writing, let's stop having an existential crisis right now about capitalism and how much fucking rich people want us dead. And I will go back to the writing where it is 7 episodes, so very short span, which means that the show has to be packed, like scene. And the pace, we're going to talk about it, is so good. The only thing in the writing that I will criticize a little bit is that I didn't really, in the end, because they knocked down Santi's character and his company, Thunder Express, so much that by the end, when he actually still succeeds, it feels like a little bit out of nowhere, because basically, when he does succeed, it's because he avoided one dirty trick from Kanin and his son, Ken, but he still got tricked so many times, and the numbers of his company has been declining, and they're still chosen by that. So basically, there's a competition by Molly. Molly is like, I think they try to do a mix between Lazada and Shopee, the two biggest platforms, like Amazon platforms, like Temu a little bit, but for Thailand, very, very popular in Thailand. Most Thai people are more of a Shopee person. I'm a Lazada girly through and through. I think the Shopee layout and like design is very like hard to read, and I prefer Lazada. I'm a Lazada girly through and through, but that's what I've observed. Like most foreigners in Thailand use more Lazada, and Thai people use more Shopee because Shopee has lower prices generally. So, to go back to that, Molly is a mix of these two, or maybe just Shopee or whatever, and they hold a competition for 1 year of having contracts with only one delivery company for all of their packages, and they're the number one platform in Thailand for packages. So obviously we have Thunder Express and we have Easy, the company of Kanin, in the competition, and in the end Thunder Express wins, even though just because they avoided one of Easy's dirty trick. I feel like it was a little bit maybe we could have had one more episode, to kind of explain more how they achieved that point. Because basically they avoid this trick. That's good. And then we see him be the first unicorn company in Thailand. I'm like, okay, but how did we get to this point? Because literally when you were doing this Easy competition for Molly, not Molly, for Molly. Not Molly, anyways. Well, you were fucking gonna, like, your company had 2 months left in it. So, like, it's pretty, crazy. So I wish we would have had a little bit more detail. Apart from that, writing is near perfect. Now the cinematography is so good. It's so good. And this is why I love Thai Netflix shows. They always have such better cinematography than all the other Thai dramas. Like, they eat every fucking time. Like, just one of the first scenes of the show, you have Santi walking on the salt mine, and it's just so good looking. It's such a good shot, because obviously that's where he works, but it just looks so good. Like a huge sand pile, but it's actually salt, so it's like whitish. So good. And then you have so many shots in the warehouse of Thunder Express. It looks so good. No, honestly, cinematography was so good. The shots are good. Like, everything is very good. Nothing to say. I really like the lighting. I love when they use fucking color theory, because Thunder Express is yellow. So they're always wearing these bright yellow shirts. Which, like, yellow is the color of warmth, right? It's like a very warm color. And then Easy is a blue color. And Easy, so obviously yellow and blue are, complement? Yeah, they're complementary colors. But also, apart from that, like, blue is much more of a clinical, right? Like a lot more colder, color. And I think it fit their two companies so well, because one is like very like corporate and established because it has a huge like businessman behind it, and then one is a little bit more startup like and like messy and warm. So I really like when they use like color theory. So overall the cinematography was really good. The camera shots, I don't remember any camera shot like blowing it out of the water, but definitely in terms of like cinematography, this was leagues above like anything, for example, GMMTV has ever done. No shade, but like GMMTV or all the other like companies that do like primarily like BL and GL shows. And that's why like sometimes it pisses me off a little bit. I wish I would get a BL show filmed like an indie movie, which I kind of got with Lost in the Woods, which I did a review on, but I want more. I need to push it, like the cinematography. I want something like so new, I'm like speechless. You know what I mean? Like something I've never seen before. But I feel like it's harder. It's getting harder these days to do something you've never seen before, because we've kind of seen everything, no shade. Then we have the pace, and the pace of this show is perfect. Actually, perfection. It is so good, except maybe again at the end where I feel like we kind of rushed from his victory in the Molly competition to him being a unicorn company. Again, maybe we could have had like a little bit of a longer episode, maybe just 10 more minutes to explain how this happened. But in any case, I think the pace was near perfect. I think every scene serves a clear purpose. Every scene goes like the order of the scenes works so well all together. And you know, in the first episode, so much happened. You have Santi like getting away from his job and his family with the loan that his boss at the salt mine gave him. Then you have him work as like tourist guide. Then we have him meet the canine guy first. Then they don't talk anymore. And then he goes to China because he got kind of scammed into meeting this guy. And he almost dies because of an alcohol game, which was amazing. That whole scene is so good. I feel like it's iconic movie scene status, even though it's in a TV show. And then in the end, he meets Canine there again. And that's how they slowly start building their friendship, which will turn sour very quickly. And so all of that happens very quickly. And I think the first episode is like really good to establish why you should care, the character of Santi, why he's so like relatable and lovable, and it just like really works so much. Pace is perfect pretty much. Then you have the ship's chemistry. So there's only one kind of ship in the show, which is Santi and Xiaoyu, where from the beginning, so you can tell some tension. So they kind of start as enemies because Xiaoyu doesn't like Santi because he borrowed her lipstick when he was still being a Chinese tourist guide and translator and interpreter and whatever. And so she doesn't like him from that. And then they meet again when he has partnered with Canine to open the company. And she's from the Chinese company that's going to help them open that company. And so at first, they don't like each other. Then finally, she lets the company go through. And in the end, Santi is like, oh, can I flirt with you? Like, can I pursue you romantically? Because clearly he likes her. And then she gives her his number. And then, no, she gives him her number. And then you can see the profile picture. It's her with her fiance. And then Santi is like, oh, okay. And I found that like quite charming. That is like, oh, she's not available. And the will they, one day between them is really good. Because there's nothing inappropriate. But at the same time, you can tell how much they fucking love and care for each other. And especially on Zhao Yu's side, like, you can tell that she is someone who, although she has also a lot of chemistry with her fiancé Liam, and you can tell that Liam, I really liked also that they didn't make Liam a bad guy, because oftentimes when they want you to root for the final couple, which in this case it wasn't the final couple because Santi and Xiaoyu never get together, never date, well, usually they make the other person a fucking asshole to kind of justify the fact that they're gonna end up together. But here, not at all. Liam is a great fucking partner. He's supportive towards Xiaoyu. They have banter. They laugh together. They have a lot of chemistry as well. And so it doesn't hurt as much when they end up getting married. For me, again, me being like very anti, like being a stay-at-home mother, because I don't trust men like that. I don't trust men like that. I do have to say that. I kind of made my heart ache, and I do think her and Santi made a lot more sense. But in the end, like, whatever happened. And I also like that they didn't go the traditional route for that. As well as the fact that even the few scenes where they built the chemistry was so good. Like, the chemistry, there's one scene where they're finally kind of talking about their feelings, and you're like, are they gonna kiss? And like the tension is high also about the company Thunder Express. So there's lots of tensions everywhere. You're like, oh my god, are they gonna kiss? And they don't kiss, so the tension is even higher, and you're like, oh, you are holding your breath. It's just so good. That's how you build tension in a show. It's like really good. And I kind of like that they didn't end up together, even though they made, I don't know. Maybe my romantic heart would have liked them together. I feel like, I don't know. But in any case, like, I really liked the chemistry between them. And I think they did really great on that part. I think also, by the way, I gave a lot of compliments for Ice Natara. But I do have to say that this is also like almost equally Jane Metika's show. Okay, it's like she's so good in this. It's perhaps the best show she's ever been in. I think she shines like particularly well, especially again acting in two languages. It's like very hard. So for me, like she was amazing. Maybe I praised Ice Natara a little bit more because I don't know him. I've never seen him before. I've always known that Jane Metika was a really great actress, so maybe that's why I was like less like blown away. But Ice Natara, that was my first time seeing him, and he really caught my eye. So in terms of like who's the main actor of this show, like these two are really as amazing as each other, and they ate down. They really ate down. Then the music is really, really good. So at the end of almost every episode, there's this kind of like, it sounds a little bit like superhero music. It's like, dun, dun, dun. No, I'm saying, dun, 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 at the end, like this, like very like empowering music, like, yeah, you're gonna go get it. You know what I mean? And it works so well with this show because you're like, oh my God, like the whole show, they're facing so many obstacles. And you're always kind of depressed at the end of the episode. You're like, oh my God, why are they betrayed by these people? Why? And in the end, like, I feel like, the music really accompanies that at the end of each episode, you're like, okay, there's still hope. You're still gonna find, and then you go on to the next episode. By the way, like, if we could have had done it, we would have watched all 7 episodes in one go with my mom. What we did is we watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes in one day. Then the next day we couldn't watch any episode because I actually had a surprise like graduation party thrown by my parents and my friends here. Very, very cute surprise. And so we came back very, very late, so we didn't watch the show. And then we watched, I believe it was like 3 more episodes. So yeah, we were at episode 5, like finished episode 5. And we literally wanted to keep binge watching, but we were like, okay, let's wait until the next day. The next day we woke up early and we watched it first thing in the morning. We didn't even eat breakfast. We literally just watched the fucking last 2 episodes of the show, and which are fucking crazy, and our tension was so high. We're literally bent on my TV, which is like behind this camera, and we're like, oh my God, no. So this is good. So the music in general, like, I didn't notice a lot of scores, but in general, the music was very good. I really like the superhero at the end, like this. I think it really worked with the vibe of the show. So I would say the music was pretty good here. Then we have the costume design. I think the costume design is nothing like crazy. I don't think they really try to like stand out specifically with their costume design. I do think it's very interesting how they dress Santi when he's for most of the show, like he's in a much like simpler clothes. You can see that when he goes to China for that work opportunity that fails, he is dressed in like a very shitty suit, but all the other guys who are very rich, like they have very well fitted suits and very expensive ones. So I really like that you could see like on screen, you could see that the material of Santi's clothes was lower than the other characters, which like participated in this idea that he's like investing all he has in trying to look legit and get his idea for this business off the ground. So definitely that's something that I really enjoyed. But apart from that, I really like the work clothes of Xiao Yu, where she really like, I really like the little like fitted dresses and like blazers and stuff. I think she looked very like cool. Yeah, so apart from that, like nothing really stood out from the costume design, but I think it furthered the plot by showing us that class difference through Santi's clothes very well. So I will give that to them. Next, we have the rewatchability. I think this show is actually really rewatchable. Maybe like not all the time, but I feel like it's quite a feel-good show, but it also has enough action, enough plot twist, enough tension that like even on the second watch, even when you know what's gonna happen, you would still enjoy it. I also think they made the characters so lovable and so like interesting that you still want to root for them, even though you know how the story's gonna go. So personally, I would see myself rewatching it. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that at all because it's a really it's a really fun show. Like, I, again, really liked it. Lastly, next is the rating. So the rating, I gave this show a very high grade of 9 on my drama list, which pisses me off. Again, I never agree with my drama list. Why is my drama list always so fucking wrong? Like, why are the users low-key dumb? I don't want to shame you guys, but what is going on? I'm sorry. So I gave it a 9. Maybe it's more of an 8.5, but the reason I gave it a 9 is because it's just a successful story. The story gets on your emotion, gets like on your nerves when the moments like there's plot twists, there's betrayals. It's just so good at like getting things out of its viewers. And I think it was very successful in pretty much everything it set out to do. It told the story of someone from the bottom trying to get to the top and succeeding. It told the story of like perseverance and like growth and trust broken, and then giving your trust to new people. And it's just like a very relatable story. I feel like it's a very powerful story, even though yes, it is very like inside of capitalism. It doesn't disrupt the system, but it is based on a true story. So it's not like they couldn't imagine a whole new show just to fit my idea of how I would destroy capitalism. But yeah, I think it's like a very, very solid show. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I'm still thinking about it. I think the performances were so good, especially again, Ice Natara. Better get those awards. He ate down so bad. It was definitely one of the best performances of all time. Loki, like, I think he ate like that bad. It was so good. So all of that to say that, definitely, a really great show. So I gave it a 9 out of 10 because I think it's one of the best Thai dramas ever made. Like, Loki, not to be dramatic, but I don't think a lot of Thai dramas get to this type of like quality of writing, acting, execution. Like, this show from the first second to its last second is executed so well and so tightly. And you know, I always talk about like a tight execution. And when you can feel like everything ran like really smoothly and everyone did what it needed to do, you got a show like this. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I loved it. Lastly, how I would fix it, again, as I said, like maybe just give 10 more minutes in the last episode to explain between after they win the Molly competition and it becomes the first unicorn of Thailand, what happened? How did they grow? Just maybe a little bit of a montage of like a highlight reel of what happened to make maybe a little bit more sense and be a little bit less like jarring. But apart from that, there's nothing to fix. I actually really liked everything in the show, as you can see. And lastly, who would like this show? Literally everyone. That's the thing about this show is I don't think there's anyone who wouldn't like this show. If you like more like plot focused shows, not like me, you will like this show. If you like more character focused shows, like me, you will like this show. If you like any type of action or any type of like business shows or any type, even the romance I think was really well done. Like, I think there's kind of everything in this show. There's so many different things that you can get out of it. And it really worked. It really worked. As you can see, I fucking love that show. I think it's definitely one of the best Thai dramas to come out in the last few years. I think it's extremely solidly made. The performances were definitely for me the best part out of it. And I think it's just a story that's extremely efficient. And I love when you can tell like a story has been like, from the idea of the show, it's been executed as perfectly as it could have been. You know what I mean? And it's very, very rare. I often feel like, unfortunately, a lot of those shows in Thai dramas, they have a good concept or they have an interesting plot, an interesting storyline that they want to say, but it rarely ever stick the landing. And here I feel like it did. So this is actually a shorter episode than my usual. I think I had so little things to complain about that it's gonna be like about 15-20 minutes shorter than my usual episodes. I really recommend you watch this show. I think it's a very excellent show, very easy show to watch. Probably, honestly, just start it in the afternoon and you'll finish it by night. You're gonna binge it, okay? Just binge it, binge all 7 episodes. It's so good. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's gonna be a show that I think about quite a lot, because my mom said when we finished it, like, oh, it wasn't really super political, and I told her, yes, it is. It's a very political story. Of course, a little bit more like pro-capitalist, but for living in Thailand, I can say that like Thailand is a very capitalistic country. There's so much ads here. Like, it's a lot more like buy. There's sales all the time here. It's very much like, compared to France, I felt it immediately when I moved to Thailand, how many more ads and like overconsumption they're encouraging through their ads. But in general, I did still really enjoy this show, even though it's not as radical as I would like it to be. Not every show can be Not Me, okay, you guys? Again, this is the reason why Not Me for me is the number one Thai drama, is because it's a lot more aligned to my personal values, I think also. But I think in general, this show was really, really powerful, a really good time, super well written, super well acted, super well executed, and you need to watch it. Just go watch it, give it a try. After 1 episode, you will be hooked. That's what I guarantee you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.